occurred to me that I would be starting school in a week. I never looked forward more to anything in my life. Jem consented to take me to school the first day, a job usually done by one's parents, but Atticus had said Jem would be delighted to show me where my room was.
Remember, during school hours, you aren't to bother me, you aren't to embarrass me, and you are not to refer to my private life.
You mean we can't play anymore?
We'll do like we always do at home, but you'll see, school's different.
Well, hello class. This here says my name is Carolyn Fisher, and I'll be your teacher. I'm from Alabama, but specifically Winston County.
Miss Fisher was no more than 21. She looked and smelt like a peppermint drop. She boarded across the street a door down from us. When Miss Maudie introduced us to her, Jem was in a haze for days. Caroline began the day by reading us a story about cats.
So Mrs. Cat called the drugstore for an order of chocolate-covered mice.
Class was wriggling like a bucket full of caterpillar worms.
Well, that was just so nice. Now, does anybody know what these are for? Yes, Jean Louise?
Well, that there, Miss Caroline Fisher, is the alphabet. That's A, and that's B, that's C, oh, and that's D, that's E, F, G, I.
I found out that I could read most my first reader and the stock mark quotation from the mobile register. She told me to tell Atticus to stop teaching me.
Teach me? Atticus don't teach me none.
Well, if he didn't teach you, who did? You were not born reading.
Well, Jem said I was.
Well, let's not let our imaginations run away now. Your father has no idea how to teach.
I knew I hadn't known Miss Caroline enough, so I let well enough alone and stared out the window until recess.
How's it been?
If I didn't have to stay, I'd leave, Jem.
He's been saying that Atticus has been teaching me to read them, right? And for him to stop, and it's...
Don't worry, Scott. It's just a new teaching method called the Dewey Decimal System.
The Dewey Decimal System.
The Dewey Decimal System consisted of Miss Caroline waving cards at us, on which were printed the, cat, rat, man, and you. I was so bored, so I began to write Dill a letter.
I knew you was right, and your father was going to have to stop teaching this. You do not learn writing until 3rd grade. And where's your lunch? Did you forget it this morning?
Yep.
Here, have a quarter. You can go downtown and eat lunch today. And then you can bring me back the change tomorrow.
No, thank you, ma'am.
Here, Walter, come get it.
Go on and tell us, Scout. Miss Caroline, Walter's a Cunningham.
What was that, Jean Louise?
Walter's one of the Cunninghams, Miss Caroline.
Beg your pardon, Jean Louise?
The Cunninghams never take none they can't pay back. They just get along with what they have.
It was last winter. Walter's father was one of Atticus's clients. After a dreary conversation in our living room one night about his entailment, Mr. Cunningham said,
Mr. Finch, I don't know the next time when I'll be able to pay you.
Let that be the least of your worries.
Thanks, sir.
Atticus, Mr. Cunningham ever gonna pay us back?
Not in money. Before the year's out, I'll be paid back. You watch.
We watched. One morning, Jem and I found a load of stove wood in the backyard. Later, a sack of hickory nuts appeared on the back steps. With Christmas came a crate of smilax and holly. That spring, when we found a crocker sack full of turnip greens, Atticus said,
He's paid us back more than enough.
How does he pay us back like that?
Well, it's the only way he can. They have no money.
If I could have explained these things to Miss Caroline, I would have. But it was far behind my ability to explain things as well as Atticus.
You're shaming him, Miss Caroline. Walter ain't got a quarter.
Jean Louise, I have had quite enough of you. You are getting off on the wrong foot. Hold out your hand. If all of you act just like her, the same fate's gonna happen to all of you.
If I hear another sound from this class, I will burn everyone in it. Miss Caroline, the 6th grade cannot concentrate on the pyramids for all this racket.
My sojourn in the corner was a short one. The end of school bell rung shortly after. As I was leaving, I thought of how difficult it might be to be the new teacher. Had her conduct been more friendly toward me, I would have felt sorry for Miss Caroline. She was a pretty little thing.